The mind of the modern man trembles like bamboo in a storm. His thoughts rush like startled birds, seeking branches that no longer exist. Every sound of the world echoes in his skull. Notifications, demands, memories, and the forest of his being bends beneath their weight. Yet somewhere, beneath this storm, lies a silence older than thought itself. The monks of old called it the hollow heart of bamboo, the place where the wind becomes music instead of noise. What if peace were not the absence of thought, but the art of letting it pass through, as wind through bamboo? Today, I shall tell you how the monks learned to stop overthinking by becoming empty and yet profoundly alive. In the ancient temples that sleep between mountains and mist, the masters would often say that the mind is not an enemy to be silenced, but a stream to be understood. A novice once asked, "Master, how can I stop the water from flowing?" The master smiled, placing a bamboo cup under a waterfall. "You cannot stop it," he said, "but you can learn to drink." In this simple gesture lived the essence of the way. Thought is not to be conquered, but embraced with awareness so complete that its turbulence becomes transparent. Overthinking, the illness of our age, arises from forgetting this law. The modern soul wishes to control, to grasp, to force the river into stillness, but water that is forced becomes muddy. The more we try to hold it, the more it escapes our fingers. The monk learns another rhythm, the rhythm of Wu Wei, effortless action. He allows life to flow through him like a breeze through bamboo, bending, never breaking, moving, never losing its root. The bamboo teaches us that emptiness is not absence, but strength. Within its hollow center lies the secret of flexibility. A mind too full of its own noise cannot hear the rustle of the wind. A heart too burdened by analysis cannot feel the pulse of life. The way of the monk is not to build walls against thought, but to open gates so wide that thoughts enter and leave like clouds crossing the sky. When the master meditates, he does not fight his thinking. He observes it. A cloud drifts, a sound echoes, a memory arises, and he bows to each as an honored guest. He knows that impermanence governs all things, even worry. To cling to a thought is to forget that it was never meant to stay. Thus, peace is not born from control, but from surrender. In the bamboo forest, nothing strives, yet everything is accomplished. Rain falls, leaves tremble, the earth drinks. This is the teaching of Ziran, naturalness. When we align with the rhythm of nature, our inner weather shifts. The storm loses its grip. Awareness becomes sunlight, and even the darkest tangle of thoughts begins to shimmer with clarity. To walk the monk's way is to return to this natural order. One does not escape thought, but transforms it. The stream still flows, but now it reflects the moon instead of hiding it. In the valley of the everyday, the mind becomes entangled like a vine seeking sunlight, twisting around duties, conversations, and unspoken fears. The bamboo principle invites us to look not at the vine, but at the air it grows through. In each thought, in each worry, there is a space, small, silent, infinite. When the monk walks, he does not hurry toward the destination. His step is already arrival. When he speaks, he listens within his own words. He lives in the hollow, not in the noise. Overthinking is born from resistance. We grasp what has not yet happened. We replay what has already dissolved. The monk understands that life is neither in the future nor in the past, but in the gentle space between breaths. He does not rush to shape the moment. He lets it shape him. This is the unseen virtue of bamboo. It bends to the wind, yet when the storm is gone, it stands upright once more, untouched at its root. In the modern world, where everything calls for reaction, this principle is forgotten. We confuse motion with meaning, accumulation with understanding. But even the river, when it reaches the sea, becomes still. The natural law is not haste, but harmony. When the mind races, it is because it has lost rhythm with the body. When the heart worries, it has lost rhythm with the world. The monk's secret is to rejoin these rhythms, to breathe until the self returns to its natural measure. To practice the bamboo principle in daily life is to remain soft within strength. In work, it means acting without being consumed by result. In love, it means offering presence without possession. In solitude, it means finding fullness in the hollow. The bamboo stands empty, yet feeds the forest with its shade. So too does a still mind nourish all around it. Nature does not overthink. The cloud does not plan its rain. The mountain does not regret its erosion. They obey the great law of Tao, the unfolding without effort. To remember this law is to heal from the fever of thought. It is not withdrawal from life, but return to its true rhythm. When one lives this way, the world remains as it is, busy, uncertain, alive. But its echo no longer disturbs the heart. One begins to move like water through stone, clear and patient. This is the bamboo's promise, to remain open, yet unbroken, empty, yet whole. Long ago, in a monastery, hidden deep within the folds of a misty mountain, there lived a young monk named Shen. He was known not for his discipline, but for his constant worry. Every morning as the bell echoed through the valley, Shen's mind filled with questions about his worth, his progress, his future. "Master," he once pleaded, "how can I stop my thoughts? They cling to me like wet robes." The old teacher looked at him gently, as though watching rain fall upon stone. That evening, the master led Shen to the bamboo grove. The moonlight poured through the hollow stalks, filling the air with silver whispers. "Strike the bamboo," said the master. Shen obeyed, and the grove answered with a hollow resonance, a sound both full and empty. "Do you hear?" the master asked. "It is empty inside, yet it sings." Shen bowed his head, uncertain. "Master, what does it mean?" The old man smiled. "When your mind becomes like this bamboo, hollow but alive, the wind of thought will pass through you and become song instead of sorrow." For many nights, Shen sat among the bamboo, listening. At first, he still wrestled with his thoughts, but gradually, he began to notice something subtle. The sound between sounds, the stillness between breaths. His thoughts did not disappear. They softened. They moved like wind, never staying, never hurting. The monks say that after a season of rain, Shen no longer asked questions. He walked through the monastery as lightly as the morning mist. When storms came, he was calm. When praise arrived, he bowed like bamboo, grateful but never clinging. He became known as the Empty One, not for his ignorance, but for his freedom. This story, passed through generations, carries the paradox of the bamboo principle. The more we try to silence the mind, the louder it becomes. But when we allow it to move, to breathe, to exist without judgment, it becomes transparent. In that transparency lies wisdom, the kind that does not seek answers, only understanding. So the masters teach, when your thoughts overwhelm you, do not fight them. Sit among them as Shen did with the bamboo. Listen until even your confusion becomes music. For in the hollow heart of awareness, the storm itself learns to bow. When dawn unfolds like pale silk, and the first light touches the mountains, the monks begin the ritual of stillness. It is not a ceremony of grandeur, but of deep intimacy with the moment. The body sits upon the earth as a root touches soil. The breath is the only teacher, rising and falling like the tide. To walk this ritual is to remember that the mind, like bamboo, grows only when it accepts both the rain and the sun. You may begin as they do, without striving, without expectation. Sit where the air can move freely. Feel the rhythm of your breath as the river feels its current. Inhale through the nose until the air brushes the bottom of your lungs. Exhale through the mouth, as though releasing smoke from an old fire. With each exhale, the body softens and the mind loosens its grip. Do not attempt to empty your thoughts. Instead, let them sway. Let them rustle like leaves stirred by a gentle wind. Observe their sound, their motion, and their fading. Then, rest your gaze upon something simple, a flame, a leaf, a distant horizon, and see it without naming it. This seeing without thought is the bamboo's eye, the pure awareness that reflects everything yet holds nothing. The monks say that when you can look at a mountain without calling it mountain, you are beginning to see its true nature. In the ritual of stillness, time dissolves. The present expands like a clear pond. There is no tomorrow, no yesterday, only the trembling of air, the slow rhythm of your own breathing. And when distractions arise, you bow to them as honored guests, then let them leave through the open door of your awareness. Slowly, you become spacious. The world moves within you, but you are unmoved. As the practice deepens, you begin to notice that silence has texture, that it breathes, that it listens back. You feel for the first time what the bamboo feels, the quiet joy of being empty yet alive. In that space, the fever of thought cools, the pulse of anxiety slows, and the heart begins to mirror the rhythm of the earth. The monks call this moment the return, for it is not an achievement, but a remembering. To practice this each morning is to polish the mirror of the mind until it reflects the sky itself. And in that reflection, overthinking fades, not because you have conquered it, but because you no longer need to. When the sun sets and the wind leans softly through the bamboo, the monk knows that thought and silence are not two paths, but one. The rustle of the leaves, the pulse of the breath, the slow dimming of light, all speak the same sutra. To bend is to endure, to empty is to be full. Overthinking was never the storm, only the refusal to dance with it. So when your mind trembles again, remember the bamboo, rooted, hollow, alive. Let the wind pass through you, and it will leave music in its wake. If this stillness has calmed you, stay on the path. The mountain has more to whisper,